SNAP benefits for illegal immigrants. Is this something that you think is necessary? We're going to talk about that in detail today, as the Trump administration wants to remove them from receiving entitlement benefits. Meanwhile, AG Letitia James is fighting back. But before that, if you like your news without the noise, then consider subscribing to the Civic Trigger today. Early this year, DOGE and the USDA asked states to provide information about who receives food stamps within their areas. NPR went on the record to call this a sweeping and unprecedented request, with them calling it absolutely alarming and reckless. Now, we know why. AG Letitia James is back on the news and she's speaking her mind about these benefits.
The SNAP program is a critical lifeline for tens of millions of Americans throughout our country, and specifically 2.9 New Yorkers. Every day, SNAP benefits make it possible for working families to afford to put food on the table. And more than half of those who receive SNAP are families with children, and more than a third have elderly or disabled family members. Without SNAP, many families would not be able to count on their next meal. For decades, SNAP has prevented people from going hungry and saved countless lives.
And I agree with her up to this point. Many struggling Americans need SNAP benefits to put food on the table. This is not an uncommon concept. Just for 2024, these benefits help more than 40 million people across the country. But here's where things become complicated with Letitia James and her message. She says that these benefits shouldn't just go to U.S. citizens. She's now fighting to keep SNAP benefits for illegal immigrants as well.
This administration is attempting to use this program as a tool in their cruel and chaotic targeting of immigrants. It is outrageous. It is unacceptable. And this administration has demanded that states hand over sensitive personal information of all SNAP recipients going back to 2020. That includes addresses, social security numbers, immigration statuses, and more.
Wait a minute. Weren't Democrats shouting at Republicans for the notion of illegal aliens receiving benefits solely for U.S. citizens? And now we have James here admitting that they're doing it in New York. To add to that, they're now suing the Trump administration. I want to say that again. States are suing the Trump administration because they don't want U.S. entitlement benefits to be given to illegal immigrants. When was the last time these officials ever fought for our homeless veterans or even those on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI?
20 states are now suing the Trump administration over its efforts to obtain the personal information of SNAP recipients. So according to this lawsuit, the Department of Agriculture requested information, including Social Security numbers and home addresses. Attorneys claim the request violates state and federal privacy laws. However, back in May, a judge allowed the IRS to share taxpayer information with federal immigration authorities. The same authorities were also granted access to personal data from the nation's 79 million Medicaid enrollees.
Reports show that for 2022, SNAP benefits were provided to more than 1.5 million illegal aliens. For that year alone, it's estimated that $4.2 billion was used to provide them with these benefits. That was 3 years ago. For last year in New York City alone, their SNAP bill was estimated at $7.35 billion. And they're fighting to keep things that way. But the question is it sustainable? California has proven to the country that providing added benefits for free will only drain our wallets.
Governor Newsom is proposing a freeze to Medi-Cal enrollment for undocumented immigrants. Starting in 2026, the state-funded health insurance program will no longer accept undocumented new enrollees. The Associated Press reports the proposal comes as the state faces a $12 billion budget deficit. The governor's office estimates the freeze would save nearly $5.5 billion. Those already enrolled in Medi-Cal will not be kicked out, but starting in 2027, those without legal status will have to pay a $100 monthly premium.
This just goes to show us that we are spending way too much on others, while Americans who are struggling get nothing. But I'm sure that some don't feel that way, with others arguing that illegal immigrants should be favored over U.S. citizens. Do you feel the same way? Make sure to sound off in the comments. And before I go, please consider becoming part of a community of truth seekers by subscribing to the Civic Trigger. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.